Hello, I'm Colonel Matt Scalia, Garrison Commander here at Fort Benning, Georgia. I want to take the time to talk to the families and residents and all associated here at Fort Benning about our garrison activities and what we here at the garrison are doing in planning for reimplementation of services across the installation. We have the town halls every 1 to 2 weeks, and we've done a great job, I think, in answering your questions. I know it's certainly helpful for us to receive the questions and understand your concerns. However, I wanted to provide dedicated time in this forum for specific garrison functions and activities to try to get ahead of those questions that I know are out there. I'm not going to set dates for you on a lot of these services on when you can expect them to come back. Rather, I want to help set expectations for you as we do our planning here, and you as families have to do your own planning, especially with respect to and considering the summer vacation coming up. Please understand that everything we do here is conditions-based. Again, it's not set on times. It is, we must see a steady decline in the positive cases in the area, not just on Fort Benning, but in the immediate area outside the gates. And as General Brito has said, we're really looking for a 14-day period of a steady decline. That's when we know conditions are looking better for a gradual reimplementation of services. So with that, I want to delve into some specific services, functions, activities for you and let you know where we are in our planning efforts and considerations. First, and perhaps most emotional, because it's an emotional subject even aside from the pandemic we're dealing with, and that is moving, permanent change of station, or PCS. Again, it's stressful for all families. The stop move implemented because of the pandemic through June 30th makes it that much more stressful. A lot of questions out there. We've answered some in the previous town hall. What does it mean for us who were expecting to move this summer? Fortunately, the Department of the Army and Human Resources Command has just published some new guidance on how report dates will be shifted for people. So as you learn what those dates are, and we'll show you the graphic, we do nevertheless anticipate some backlogs as people try to clear the installation, and perhaps more importantly, more specifically, is with setting up transportation appointments. So there have been some exceptions to policy granted for people to move during this stop move period, and your soldiers should be coordinating that and communicating that with chains of command. It primarily has gone to those who've just recently completed the basic officer leadership course and the maneuver captain's career course. There are other exceptions out there, but those are again granted case by case. For the rest of us, as we anticipate movement, we look to the DA guidance on how that'll shift our report dates. This will help ease the transportation backlog and concerns, but it won't solve everything. Appointments, though, when you get your orders, and that is really the big thing for you all, as we understand, as many of us have done this multiple times, when you get those orders in your hand, you can really get the ball rolling. So as soon as you get the orders in your hand, get on move.mil and set your transportation dates through that forum. That'll help get the resources you need. If you're moving overseas, also very stressful because there's a whole lot more you have to do there, including getting passports and in some case visas. Again, you need those orders to start that process. So as soon as you get them, immediately contact the transportation office to set up those appointments and get the process started for passports and visas. I do ask, though, for those overseas moves, because there's so much more required, if you can coordinate with your chain of command, coordinate with Human Resources Command to see if they can get you those orders sooner. And understand we're trying to have that communication as well through our command channels. So you get those orders sooner so you can get those passports and visas process started earlier as well. Next, I'd like to speak about schools. If you're PCSing, I encourage you to contact your new installation's school liaison office as soon as possible. We are blessed to have a wonderful team here of school liaison officers that help not just families with children on post schools, but off post as well. They are the subject matter experts and can answer those questions in your gaining station with respect to school registration, what options do you have on and off post, and associated school dates. So please, if you're PCS, contact that school liaison officer as soon as possible. You don't have to wait for orders either. For those of us here with our school children, a lot of questions recently on the extended school year. The extended school year dates are set for 8 June to 10 July. Eligibility is determined by your individual child's school's CSC and IEP team. So please coordinate individually with them for those specifics. We do not know at this time if it'll be a virtual, online learning or in person. Again, conditions will determine that. For next year's regular school year, 10 August is the first day of school for on-post DODEA schools, K through 8th grade, and 24 August begins for pre-K. For off-post schools, as the counties will vary, please get with those specific websites to find the dates. The next I'd like to speak about is Child Youth Services, and this is a very broad area, but let me first begin with Child Development Centers, school age, middle school, and teen services. Again, very difficult decision made very early on to reduce services to very limited population, those determined as mission essential to the specific COVID-19 response and emergency services. I'd like to think much of the success we've had here on post has been because we had closed those potential vectors of threat of spreading the virus in our CDCs and school age services, protecting that population that works at the hospital so they were ready for the fight and that anticipated growth. Fortunately, we've been blessed, I think, in concerted discipline and efforts by all. And that's, I think, has kept our numbers low. So we're grateful for that. As we consider reopening these services, this child development services, teen youth services, et cetera, again, conditions-based. We are developing plans whereby we can still isolate and protect the hospital-related personnel and then open up again for the units for their key and essential. So as we're continuing planning on the Garrison side, what we've asked for the units to do is to update their list of those who require this service and are key and essential personnel. So as we open up spaces, we will bounce that list from the units off of in conjunction with already established DoD priorities. So for an example, and I won't go through all the many different examples there could be, but your single parents or dual military parents serving in key essential positions for their unit would have first priority. What you can also do to get ahead on this, as with all child youth service activities, is to register your children as soon as possible. And you don't have to wait for that activity to be available. You can get them registered now. And please go to the website militarychild.com to do so. So now extending to other youth activities and summer programs. Though we cannot guarantee conditions this summer will be such that we will have all these numerous activities available, such as field trips, swim lessons, and sport camps, we are ensuring that we will be ready as soon as possible once the conditions are right. And again, I ask you to do the same. Register your children with CYS as soon as you can. You can also help us with getting your children, if they so desire to be lifeguards, registered as well for not just employment, but also with the lifeguard classes. I'll hit that a bit more in another section. Housing. As you know, many of you are aware, we put a hold on routine work orders, but we have continued our emergency and urgent work orders. And as I've stated before in other town halls, obviously we've seen a large increase and a backlog in the routine work orders. We've learned a lot in the past couple months about the threat, about how we can operate safely still within the threat. And I think conditions are such that we can begin routine work orders again. Now, after coordination with the Garrison Housing Office and the Villages of Benning and its parent company, Michaels, we believe we have the right place and plan. You will see more details on this coming from Villages of Benning, and we are anticipating beginning routine work orders again on the 18th of May. Now, this does not mean you have to allow work crews to come into your house for routine work orders. If you're not comfortable with them coming in, you may decline so. This is only when all parties feel comfortable. And there will be mitigation measures both for the maintenance personnel coming in and for us as families, those occupants of the house, to try to mitigate risk for everybody. The maintenance employees, workers, and us as residents. So please ask for your cooperation and stand by for more information from Villages of Benning. Next is visitors to Fort Benning. We are still in HP Con Charlie here in Fort Benning. So we are keeping conditions for visitors as they have for the past couple months. We still have trusted traveler suspended, and we are still only allowing visitors if they're here for, really life needs. Okay, we've cited many examples that have come from you all and granted many exceptions. Okay, please continue to ask us for those exceptions. Ask that you keep visitors away who are here strictly for recreational or entertainment purposes. If you're having family come down because you have needs, you're having a new baby, or as we approach the summertime, if there's a change in custody for children between parents, those are all perfectly acceptable reasons. Again, I can't go through all the myriad of examples, but please, if you think you have a legitimate exception, please apply for one, and you can get that from our webpage and installation access. Next is Barber Shops, and I know what you're thinking. I'm starting to look a little shaggy on top here. So, Barber Shops are not going to open this week, but we are setting a mitigation plan in place here. Okay, it includes cleaning, it includes social distancing, and wear of PPE. So, again, hope to have this set. This is in coordination with the Senior Commander General Brito, Garrison, AFES, and those individual barbers as they are individual contractors. We hope they will be willing to come back to work, we want to make it safe not just for them, but for all of you who require haircuts as well. Pools. Fort Benning summers are brutal. We love the pools. We love sending our kids to the pools. We love getting swim lessons. Always in consultation with our medical personnel. We are looking at the pools now as well. Normally it's a Memorial Day weekend when they open the pools. We are still building towards that as if it were ideal conditions. I don't think that will be the case, but we are ensuring that when the conditions are right, we have everything set, ready to go to open up the pools. This will probably be something that is gradual. Okay, so really the primary purpose for our pools and that we receive funding for the pools is a matter of readiness for our soldiers, for fitness. So that will be the first group we consider in reopening the pools. And then we might extend it there for others for fitness purposes. The last would be for recreational purposes. And this doesn't just apply for the MWR pools. In conjunction with villages as well, this applies to their neighborhood pools. We want to make sure that we're in step with one another on that. The solution to this, again, as the conditions are right, will require a lot of parental supervision and support. Parents, are you doing the right thing? Are you comfortable? If you're not comfortable, then please don't bring your children. Are your children supervised? These are all considerations we have in this, and we need your cooperation and want to do this together. Playgrounds are another matter, and I think we're closer to reopening playgrounds. And again, this is for MWR and neighborhood playgrounds, again in coordination with the Villages of Benning. This, much like the pools, I would say even more so, really requires parent supervision, parent responsibility. Are we doing the right thing? In the near future, we will post on our playgrounds some operating rules. Now, we're not going to have personnel there. We're not going to have people overwatching, making sure parents are doing the right thing. We really, again, require parents doing the right thing, supervising their children. But this will set some type of rules and guidelines for use of the playgrounds. how many children for a particular size playground. If there's children waiting, please limit the amount of time you're on the playground to let others on. But we think the threat is low. Again, always in consultation with medical personnel, and so we do want to open this up for the children, especially those with the pent-up energy from being inside for so long. The library is another great asset we have here that I would like to open up sooner, but I'm afraid conditions aren't as positive for the library as they would be for others, like, say, the playground. This might be limited service to include computer service for many of our soldiers who stay here through the weekends attending courses, but not so much for checking out of books and reading time for children and parents. I would like to get there, but the books just pose a different threat from some of the other services we provide. Dining, our dining establishments. Please understand that the closure of our dining establishments was more one of business decisions. Yes, we did close the dining areas, but most of our dining establishments immediately went to a takeout only. And then they closed when it was realized they couldn't get enough business. And that was the case outside the gate as well. We would like to see more of these businesses, more of the dining establishments open up, carry out. And for many of these, this might be the new standard for them, even beyond the COVID-19 threat. So these will come up individually. We will always let you know as they do come open. Where we can use your support is use more of these local, on-post carryouts as possible to show the demand, increase the demand to show other restaurants, other vendors that there is the desire here on post. And I'll lastly end with what we consider to be the last to be reopened. Okay, and this is really because of the threat that they possess, just the nature of what they are. And that is the gyms, the chapels, and the large gathering events. In the summertime, our beloved Independence Day celebration. So the Independence Day celebration we have rescheduled for 22 August, and again we'll see if conditions allow us to do it then. We are advertising it now and have some great entertainment lined up, but it will not be as it normally is in late June. The chapels and the gyms, again, just because of the nature of what they are and how people use them and congregate, we are keeping them closed at the moment. Gyms would likely be a gradual reopening, as I discussed with the pools, perhaps first just for soldiers and units, and then we can build upon that. Those are just some of our considerations and thoughts initially. But again, to set expectations, those will be some of the last that we open up fully. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this has been helpful. I've tried to cover most of our services. I know there's a lot more out there. So if you have more questions, we will continue with the Facebook town halls. Send your questions in as you normally do. I do also want to highlight again the great website that we have that has many tabs on the left-hand side for specific information for specific services. Thank you all again for your time, and I look forward to further questions.